Hey guys, what's up? It's time for a Blu-ray DVD CD collection update. This is the first one since I've hit 1,000 subscribers, so this is like, kick ass. I guess I'll start with the DVDs because it's nothing but DVDs. For those of you who do not know, I live in Columbus, Ohio, and the last independently owned video store in Columbus announced in April that they were going out of business, which is very sad, honestly, because I personally never really rented from the place because it was a bit far from where I lived, but I still had gone in there a few times. I saw the awesome selection of not just like, well-known and new movies, but a huge selection of cult films. I mean, they had this huge section dedicated specifically to weird, obscure cult films, and when I went in there one time, I saw that they had like Pink Flamingos, they had Female Trouble, they had Goodbye Uncle Tom, they had Faces of Death, Africa Dido, Desperate Living. They had all of these cult films that I wouldn't think even an independent video store would have, but they had them. And I heard that they were going out of business, and I heard that they were selling their inventory, so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to get down there eventually. And it took me literally until the 28th to get down there, which was quite a while. When I finally got there, I was surprised by the large amount of inventory that was left and the large amount of decent titles that were left. They were like $3 a piece, and some of these are like out of print or impossible to find. A couple of them that I picked up are. So I was very happy to get these for fairly cheap. So let me just get on with this. First one I picked up was Vulgar. This is an interesting film. It's produced by none other than Kevin Smith, and this film is actually canon to the View Askew universe, which is the universe that is essentially the Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob universe. So this film is canon to that universe. This film is a dark comedy thriller revenge film drama that is about a clown played by Brian O'Halloran, who is most well known for being Dante in Clerks, about a clown who gets gang raped and goes to get revenge on the men who gang raped him. This is a very real fucking movie, and it goes from being this kind of campy cult film comedy to this it goes from that to being this instantly dark, disturbing, nihilistic film. It's really crazy and fucked up, and really, honestly, I think it's actually a pretty solid film overall. Like, nothing absolutely amazing, but this is a very good film for what it is, and I really like this one. But yeah, this is Vulgar. This isn't anything out of print. I mainly grabbed this because I wanted it, and I like this movie. And let me make sure yeah, the disc is in like perfect condition, so I can tell that probably nobody rented this. I found Ichi the Killer episode 0, because last I checked, this was like kind of out of print. Upon checking after I bought it, it actually isn't really out of print. I thought it was, but I guess not. Ichi the Killer episode 0, this is the one episode Ichi the Killer OVA that only runs for about 40 minutes. And this is considered like, there's the prequel film, Ichi, like One Ichi, which is like the one about Ichi being in high school. And that one's like interesting for what it is, but it isn't this like grand, amazing, crazy splatter film like Ichi the Killer is. This is somewhere in between, where it's anime, there's some violent moments, but overall it isn't anything super crazy or amazing or even that good. It doesn't even come even close to Ichi 1 Origins, but I still kind of like this one from what I remember. And I remember that the voice actor for Kakihara in the Japanese dub is Takashi Miike, who is, the director of Ichi the Killer. I like this one from what I remember, and I mainly grabbed it because it was like, it just instantly, like, I just saw it on that shelf, and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking Ichi the Killer episode 0. grabbed this one because this is another one that I was kind of surprised they had, and it's another one that is like out of print. Although this has gotten a Blu-ray release, and I have a Blu-ray release, and the Blu-ray release is great. This is the old DVD release of Microwave Massacre, the self-titled worst horror movie ever made. As you can see, it has the cult sticker on it. This was in the cult film section, and I'm surprised nobody picked this up. Maybe it was the fact that the cover looks absolutely horrific and terrible in every way. I quite like Microwave Massacre. I like Microwave Massacre. I think it's actually a pretty fun little bad movie. I think it made it onto my list of favorite bad movies that I did last year, actually. But Microwave Massacre is interesting, and its history, the history of the production is very interesting. And the best thing about this movie is it is literally the voice actor for Frosty the Snowman as a cannibalistic murderer who kills and eats hookers. And this film was originally written for none other than Rodney Dangerfield. So the humor has this very kind of Dangerfield-esque feel to it. And I really like it. And I was surprised to find this old DVD of it. And for under special features it says none, zip, nada, absolutely nothing. So it's just the film, and I'm sure it's a decent transfer, but I have the Blu-ray. I mainly got this because I know that this is kind of rare. Dahmer vs. Gacy. This is one that I've known about this one for years and years, ever since it came out, and I haven't seen it yet. So this is another one that was just kind of a blind buy randomly. Like, I don't think this one is out of print or anything. This is just another one that I bought mainly because I was like, hey, Dahmer vs. Gacy. I've always wanted to check that one out. $3, not bad. This one I'm really happy to get my hands on because the sordid history of this kind of series is interesting because it's kind of become illegal to sell copies of, at least the originals of this series. There were tons of spin-offs, rip-offs, and sequels done by other kind of independent production companies and just groups of teenagers. But in the early 2000s, there were these tapes going around, and I think there were even DVDs going around, of bum fights. And bum fights was just like it was like these three guys in their 20s who were recording homeless people who they like paid in money or alcohol to beat the shit out of each other. And that's what it was. And you can't find copies of these anywhere because if you list them on eBay or Amazon or anything like that, they'll get taken down instantly because they don't sell, because you're not allowed to sell them on there. So these have become like legendary kind of pieces of like low budget exploitation cinema that have like, these have become like kind of almost legendary and mythical things that you would only find at conventions on bootlegs or at a flea market in the middle of like the South or something. And I was excited enough to find, beach bum fights. I've never heard of this one, and I'd never seen any of the bum fights tapes before. I'll be honest. I've never really been interested in them, but I know that they're kind of hard to get your hands on, and I figured beach bum fights might be a little bit rare too. And as far as I can tell, I can find nothing about this exact I guess film, tape, video, trash. I don't really know, but this is like apparently bumps on the beach beating each other up. 100% shocking, parental advisory, as seen on TV, and of course the cult sticker. Figured why the hell not. This is one that I found that was like just kind of sitting there, and as soon as I saw the front and the name of the actor on the front, I knew I had to get this because I'd never really heard of this. It's Jack the Ripper, starring Klaus Kinski. This is the Jack the Ripper that's directed by Jess Franco, the king of Spanish sexploitation films. And Jess Franco isn't necessarily a good filmmaker. I mean, Vampiros Lesbos is interesting for what it is, and I think Devil Hunter's kind of fun. But overall, he's done over 100 movies, and almost all of them, as far as I have heard, aren't really anything good. Same goes for this one, but I had never heard of this one until I saw that it was a Jess Franco film starring Klaus Kinski, and that's two things that I can definitely get behind, especially when it's a film about Jack the Ripper. This exact edition from Front Row Features, I have no idea. I have no idea at all I did some research. I went on eBay and everything, and I could not find a single version of the Jess Franco Jack the Ripper film from from front row features. I could not find it. So this is something that might be a little bit rare or expensive. This is one that I bought not just because I've never really seen it or heard of it before, but mainly because I saw Jess Franco, I saw Klaus Kinski, I saw the title Jack the Ripper, and I thought to myself, I hope that this is, gory and violent enough. So this is another one that I just kind of bought because why the hell not? This next one is one that I've known about for a while. I've never really gotten around to it. I never really gotten around to this one. I remember this was on Netflix streaming for a bit. It's Lust in Hell. This is like a Japanese horror film. This one isn't anything like special out of print or anything. This is just one that I kind of grabbed because I'd known about it for a while, and I figured why the hell not grab it. It seems like something that might be worth a watch. Next, this is the only one that I got that is like one that I've got just because I've seen this film before, and this is the only modern film I've got. This is a film that from last year that I saw that I got around to watching it earlier this year, and I'm honestly upset that I did not go see this when it came out because it is so hilariously fucking awful. It's Wish Upon. When this first came out in theaters, I saw the ads and I was like, this is going to be like Final Destination meets Wishmaster, but it's not going to be as good as either of those. And that's basically what this is. But throw in some really, really shitty, like, puns, some ridiculous deaths, some pandering references to Pokemon Go, and you have fucking Wish Upon. This movie is hilariously just awful in every way, and I honestly love it for how fucking bad it is. So I couldn't say no to getting a copy of it for $3 because, I wouldn't want to pay more than $3 for a movie like this, even if I do really like it for how bad it is. Another one I found in the cult film section, this is They All Must Die. This is like a late 90s kind of shot. I think it's a shot on video film. Yeah, I think this is a 1998 shot on video film, I think. Apparently based on actual events, and this is a film that's like, it says right on the front, banned worldwide for 13 years, They All Must Die. This is like a rape and revenge film. I don't know much about it. I just know that it's kind of like, I know that it's notorious, and I know that it is like a low-budget film from the late 90s that's a rape and revenge film, and I've heard that it's also actually kind of a racist movie, so I'm interested in seeing this. I don't think this is going to be one I'm going to hop on instantly. This is probably going to be one that's going to sit on my shelf for a few years before I get around to it, but, I'm always down for some sick, disgusting fucking sleaze when I'm in the mood for it. Last thing I got, this is one that's actually out of print, which I didn't know. I mainly grabbed it because I've actually never seen this film, and I've always wanted to see it. It is the 70s science fiction horror film, The Stepford Wives. This is the old Anchor Bay DVD from, like, 1997. This movie, this fucking copy is as old as I am. This is a old DVD of it, of The Stepford Wives, and I've heard some things about The Stepford Wives, and it's a film that sounds interesting as hell, and it's been on my watch list for a little bit, so I figured why the hell not just grab it for $3. The cover is a little bit damaged and like kind of sun bleached from being in that video store for so long, but it's still got like the little pamphlet in there, which is kind of cool. Again, not bad. That was like a $30 haul. And then I got a couple of CDs because I would just kind of like, I want to buy something. I got Power Slave from Iron Maiden. In my last update, I showed that I had bought Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden. And I said that it was like probably my second favorite Iron Maiden album to Power Slave. Upon re-listening to Power Slave for the first time all the way through in years, I gotta say, it's not as good as I remember, and I would probably say Number of the Beast is probably my favorite Iron Maiden album. This one is still good, but other than, like, Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, and Power Slave, there's nothing really super memorable on this album. And I think it was mainly just, like, the title track that really stuck in my head, that as one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs, that really it made me be like, yeah, this is one of my favorites, because other than like 3 or 4 tracks on this album, there's nothing really too amazing or impressive or interesting. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's a very solid album, but there are definitely better Maiden albums out there. And I got an album from the Athens, Ohio-based black metal band Skeleton Witch. This is their album Beyond the Permafrost. This is the first album I ever listened to by Skeleton Witch, and I quite like Skeleton Witch. They're pretty good black metal, kind of black metal, thrash metal fusion. Very heavy, very fast, and just very enjoyable, honestly. I really, really dig it. Really dig their stuff, and happy to get this album, because this is one of the favorites from them that I've heard so far. I need to listen to a few more albums from them. But anyway, guys, that is it. That is it for this Blu-ray DVD CD collection update. This is Biscuit Boo Horror Reviews, signing off. Peace.